If you're over 60 and using gym machines to strengthen your shoulders, you may be doing the exact opposite, slowly making them weaker. And here's the troubling part. Most people don't realize this is happening until pain shows up. Everyday movements feel harder, or one shoulder suddenly won't lift the way it used to. You did what you were told. You stayed active. You followed the rules. So why does your shoulder feel less reliable now than it did years ago? The uncomfortable truth is this. Many gym machines lock your shoulders into fixed paths that your aging joints were never designed to follow. And over time, that can quietly switch off the small, stabilizing muscles that actually keep your shoulders strong, steady, and pain-free. This isn't about weakness. It isn't about getting old. And it certainly isn't about effort. It's about using the wrong tool for the job. Today, I'll show you 5 seated shoulder exercises doctors quietly prefer after 60 because they rebuild real strength without grinding your joints, without balance risk, and without the damage that machines can cause when used the wrong way. If you've ever felt shoulder pain creeping despite staying active, this may explain why. And the last exercise today is especially important if one shoulder feels weaker than the other. Let's talk about something most people are never told. Gym machines weren't designed with aging shoulders in mind. They're built to move your arms through fixed paths, straight lines, set angles, rigid tracks. That might sound helpful, even safe, but your shoulder isn't a simple hinge like your knee. It's one of the most complex joints in the body, designed to move freely in many directions. And after 60, that freedom matters more than ever. Here's why. As we age, the muscles that protect the shoulder, the small stabilizing muscles deep inside, become more important than the big ones. You can see, these stabilizers keep the joint centered, smooth, and controlled. They don't respond well to heavy force or locked-in movements. They respond to slow, intentional, controlled motion. But most gym machines do the opposite. They take control away from those stabilizing muscles. They force your shoulder to follow the machine, rather than letting your shoulder guide the movement. At first, everything feels fine. You might even feel stronger. But over weeks or months, those small stabilizers quietly stop doing their job. The bigger muscles take over, the joint loses balance, and stress builds up in places it was never meant to. That's usually when pain appears. Not during the workout, not right away, but later, when you're reaching for a shelf, fastening a seatbelt, or trying to sleep on one side. And this is the part that frustrates so many people. You didn't do anything wrong. You stayed active. You followed advice meant for younger bodies. Yet your shoulders still feel tighter, weaker, or more unpredictable than before. That's not failure. That's a mismatch. Your shoulders aren't broken. They're asking for a different kind of challenge. That's why doctors often recommend something completely different after 60. Movements that wake up stabilizers, respect joint freedom, and rebuild strength without forcing your body to fight the equipment. That's why doctors often recommend something completely different after 60. This is where many people get the wrong idea. They hear seated exercises and think it means weaker, easier, or only for people who can't do more. But after 60, sitting down to train your shoulders isn't a step backward. It's a strategic advantage. Here's why. When you're standing, your body has to juggle balance, foot pressure, core tension, and posture all at the same time. That's a lot to manage. And when balance becomes the priority, your shoulders often get shortchanged. They tense up, rush the movement, or compensate in ways that don't help strength at all. Sitting removes that noise. It takes balance out of the equation so your shoulders can finally do what they're meant to do. Move smoothly, with control, through a comfortable range of motion. And control is everything after 60. Seated movements slow things down. They give your joints time to adjust, your stabilizing muscles time to engage, and your brain time to reconnect with muscles that may have gone quiet over the years. That's how strength is rebuilt safely, not by pushing harder, but by moving better. And here's something most people don't realize. Real shoulder strength isn't about lifting heavy objects in a gym. It's about being able to reach up without hesitation, pull on a shirt without wincing, carry a bag without one side doing all the work. Those are seated exercise muscles. They train the exact movements you use in daily life. Reaching, lifting, rotating, holding, without forcing your shoulders into unnatural positions. So if you've ever felt frustrated because you should be stronger by now, hear this clearly. You're not broken. Your shoulders aren't failing you. They just need a smarter approach, one that respects how the body changes, instead of fighting it. And that's exactly what the next 5 exercises are designed to do. Let's start with the first movement, one most people skip, but your shoulders desperately need. Before we begin, let's set one very important rule. You should feel gentle effort, not sharp pain, not pinching, and not pressure that makes you hold your breath. If anything feels uncomfortable, you're not doing it wrong. You're just being asked to listen more closely. After 60, your shoulders don't respond well to force or rushing. They respond to patience. That means moving slowly, staying within a comfortable range, and stopping the moment something doesn't feel right. And here's something many people need to hear. You do not need to push through pain to get stronger. Pain is not progress, especially for shoulders. If a movement feels stiff, simply make it smaller. If it feels tiring, pause and rest. If one shoulder moves less than the other, that's okay. This is not a test. It's a conversation with your body. Strength after 60 is built by consistency, not intensity. By showing up regularly, respecting your limits, and letting your joints guide the pace. So during these exercises, focus on smooth breathing, relaxed movement, and staying in control. Even a small motion, done with care, is doing important work behind the scenes. And if you've had shoulder pain in the past, or surgery, or lingering stiffness, this approach matters even more. The goal here isn't to impress anyone. It's to help your shoulders feel more reliable in everyday life. Reaching, lifting, dressing, without fear. You're in charge the entire time. Let's begin with the first seated movement. Many people tell us this is the first time exercise has felt safe again. We'll start with something that looks simple, but is far more powerful than most people realize. Seated shoulder rolls. This movement isn't about force or stretching. It's about lubrication, helping your shoulder joints move smoothly. Again, after years of tension, sitting, or repetitive use, take a comfortable seat. Let your feet rest flat on the floor. Relax your hands in your lap. Now, slowly lift your shoulders up toward your ears. Gently roll them back, and let them settle down again. Move slowly, almost like you're moving through thick air. As you do this, you may notice something important. One shoulder might feel tighter. One side might move more smoothly than the other. That's completely normal. It doesn't mean anything is wrong. It simply means your shoulders are waking up and reintroducing themselves to movement they haven't done in a while. Gym machines often skip this step entirely. They jump straight to effort, but your shoulders need preparation before strength. These slow circles activate small muscles deep inside the joint, muscles that guide movement, reduce friction, and protect you from strain later on. Now reverse the direction. Roll your shoulders forward, slow and controlled, keeping your breath relaxed. If the movement feels stiff, make the circle smaller. If it feels smooth, stay right there, no need to push. This exercise should feel relieving, not demanding. Think of it like oiling a hinge before opening a door. You wouldn't force it first, and your shoulders deserve the same respect. As you continue, pay attention to how your shoulders feel compared to when you started. Even a slight sense of warmth or ease is a sign that the joint is responding. And here's something important to remember. This is not a warm-up you rush through. This is shoulder care, done daily. These slow rolls help reduce stiffness, improve circulation, and prepare your shoulders for every movement that follows, both in this routine and in daily life. Take one more slow roll in each direction, then let your shoulders relax. That small change you feel right now? That's the beginning of strength returning quietly and safely. Notice if one shoulder feels tighter. That's normal. This next movement may be the most important one in today's routine. It's called a seated external rotation, and it targets a group of small muscles known as the rotator cuff. You may have heard that term before, often when someone is dealing with shoulder pain or a tear. But what many people don't realize is this. The rotator cuff isn't just for athletes or injuries. It's the system of muscles that keeps your shoulder stable, centered, and secure every time you move your arm. Think of it like the guide wires on a bridge. You don't see them doing much, but without them, the whole structure becomes unstable. As we age, these muscles don't get weaker because we stop moving. They get weaker because we stop using them correctly. Gym machines almost always skip this motion. They focus on pushing and pulling big, visible muscles, while the rotator cuff quietly fades into the background. That's why this is one of the most skipped movements in gyms. But skipped doesn't mean unimportant. It means misunderstood. To begin, sit tall with your elbows resting gently at your sides. Bend your arms so your forearms are pointing forward. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Now, without forcing anything, slowly rotate your forearms outward, away from your body, like you're opening a book. Move only as far as feels comfortable. Then slowly return to the starting position. This movement should feel controlled and almost subtle. If it feels shaky or limited, that's okay. That's information, not a problem. These muscles work best with light effort and patience. They're designed to guide the joint, not overpower it. As you repeat this motion, imagine the head of your arm bone staying centered in the shoulder socket. That's the rotator cuff doing its job, preventing strain, reducing wear, and protecting you from the kind of instability that leads to pain over time. If one side feels weaker or tighter than the other, don't try to fix it today. Just notice it. Awareness is the first step toward balance. Done regularly, this simple movement helps reduce the risk of tears, improves shoulder control, and makes every other exercise safer, whether you're lifting groceries, reaching overhead, or simply moving through your day. Take one more slow, careful rotation, and relax your arms. That quiet steadiness you feel, that's your shoulders becoming more secure. That's why this is one of the most skipped movements in gyms. This next exercise is where many people feel the most hesitation. Raising your arms overhead can feel uncertain after 60, especially if you've ever experienced shoulder pain. But avoiding this movement altogether is often what causes strength to fade even faster. The key isn't how high you lift your arms. It's how you lift them. Seated arm raises help. Rebuild overhead strength in a way that feels controlled and predictable, without momentum, without strain, and without forcing your joints to cooperate. Sit tall with your feet flat on the floor. Let your arms rest comfortably at your sides, palms facing inward. Now, slowly raise your arms forward, only as high as feels comfortable. That might be shoulder level, chest level, or somewhere in between. Wherever your body says this feels safe is exactly where you should be. Pause briefly, then slowly lower your arms back down. Notice the difference here. There's no jerking, no swinging, no rush to get the weight up. This is the opposite of what often happens in gyms, where momentum takes over and shoulders are forced to catch up. That kind of movement may look strong, but it puts your joints at risk. Slow, seated raises train the muscles that matter for real life. They help you reach shelves without hesitation, hang clothes without bracing yourself, carry groceries without one shoulder doing all the work. And perhaps most importantly, they rebuild confidence. Each slow raise reminds your brain that your shoulders are capable. That trust between your mind and your body is what keeps you moving freely and safely through your day. If one arm lifts higher than the other, that's normal. Don't chase symmetry. Chase comfort and control. If the movement feels tiring, rest. If it feels smooth, stay right there. This isn't about pushing limits. It's about restoring ability. Take one more slow raise, then let your arms relax. That steady control you just practiced, that's the foundation of safe overhead strength returning. The next movement fixes a mistake that quietly causes shoulder pain in millions of people. Now we move to a movement that's often overlooked, but it can make a huge difference in how your shoulders and upper back feel every day. It's called a seated scapular squeeze. Here's why it matters. Many people think their aches in the shoulders or upper back are just back pain, but often it actually starts here, in the small muscles that hold your shoulder blades in the right position. Over time, these muscles can weaken from sitting, typing, or simply moving less. When that happens, your shoulders round forward, posture collapses slightly, and other muscles start overcompensating. That imbalance creates tension, discomfort, and even pain that spreads through the upper back, neck, and shoulders. The good news is, waking up these muscles can reverse much of that discomfort. Sit tall in your chair with your feet flat on the floor. Relax your arms at your sides. Take a deep, calming breath. Now, slowly bring your shoulder blades together, like you're gently trying to pinch a pencil between them. Hold for a second or two, then slowly release back to a neutral position. Focus on slow, controlled movement. No jerking, no overexertion, just gentle activation. As you do this, notice if your shoulders feel lighter. If one side moves more easily than the other, that's perfectly normal. Your muscles are simply reconnecting with each other. Most shoulder pain improves once this muscle wakes up. Even small, careful repetitions can reduce tension, improve posture, and set your shoulders up for better performance in every movement, from reaching overhead to carrying groceries. And here's the emotional side of this exercise. It reminds you that your body isn't broken. The discomfort you may have felt for years isn't permanent. It's just a signal that your shoulders need attention. You're now giving them. Take one more slow squeeze, and let your shoulders relax back to a comfortable position. This small action strengthens the foundation for every other movement you do. Posture, stability, and shoulder health all begin with these quiet, precise muscles. Most shoulder pain improves once this muscle wakes up. This is the final exercise, and it's quietly the one that many doctors prefer for seniors over 60. It's called the seated press-out hold. Here's why it's so powerful. There are no weights, no machines, and no heavy resistance. Instead, it uses controlled tension to strengthen your shoulders safely, improving endurance and stability without putting your joints at risk. Take a comfortable seat with your feet flat on the floor and your back straight. Extend your arms straight in front of you, palms facing each other, shoulder width apart. Now, gently press your palms outward, like you're pushing against an invisible wall. Keep your shoulders relaxed and your arms at a safe, comfortable level. Hold that press for a few seconds, then release slowly. Notice the subtle burn or tension in your shoulders. That's your stabilizing muscles waking up, the quiet, essential muscles that guide your shoulder joint, prevent injuries, and keep your arms moving confidently in everyday life. What's remarkable about this movement is how simple it feels, but how much it does. Behind the scenes, you don't need heavy equipment to rebuild real strength after 60. Just consistency, focus, and control. Take another gentle press and hold. Breathe calmly. Stay aware of your posture and release slowly. As you repeat, think about the activities this exercise supports. Reaching overhead to store groceries, lifting a lightweight bag, or even simply reaching for your seatbelt with ease. Every small press strengthens the muscles that make those daily tasks smoother, safer, and pain-free. And here's the curiosity payoff. This is the movement many doctors quietly prefer because it combines endurance, joint safety, and real-life functional strength, all without the risk of strain from machines or heavy weights. Yet most people skip it entirely. The beauty of the press-out hold is that it's quiet, controlled, and fully under your command. You're building strength from the inside out, training muscles you may have forgotten you had, and protecting your shoulders for decades to come. Take one final press. Hold on and release. Notice the subtle difference from when you started the routine. Your shoulders feel more awake, supported, and ready for movement. This is proof that real strength doesn't require heavy lifting or complicated equipment, just mindful, consistent movement done the right way. If you stick with this movement daily, your shoulders will feel more reliable without any gym machines. You've just completed a full routine of gentle, seated shoulder exercises. And here's the most important thing to remember. Strength after 60 isn't about pushing harder. It isn't about lifting the heaviest weights, sweating through endless reps, or trying to look like someone half your age in the gym. True strength after 60 is about choosing movements that respect your body, movements that work with your joints, stabilize your shoulders, and improve real-life function. Each slow roll, external rotation, arm raise, scapular squeeze, and press-out hold you just did isn't just exercise. It's proof that your body can adapt, recover, and become stronger when given the right guidance. This is where many people get discouraged. They see aging as limitation. But the truth is the opposite. At 60, 65, 70, or beyond, you have the ability to reclaim confidence in your shoulders, regain freedom in your movements, and protect yourself from pain that seems inevitable. Look at what you just accomplished. You didn't rely on gym machines. You didn't strain or push beyond your comfort. Yet your shoulders have been activated, stabilized, and strengthened in ways most people skip entirely. And that's the point. Strength after 60 isn't fragile. It's smart, intentional, and lasting. When you make small, consistent choices like the exercises you just practiced, you're not only strengthening your shoulders, you're sending a message to yourself. I can move freely. I can live independently. I respect my body. That message builds confidence, motivation, and pride. It turns routine exercise into a powerful habit that protects your independence, supports your daily life, and boosts your quality of life. So if you've ever felt unsure about moving your shoulders, hesitant to lift, or worried about pain, know this: you are not fragile. You are capable. You are making intelligent choices that pay off in every reach, every lift, every movement. And the most exciting part? This is just the beginning. With daily practice, your shoulders will continue to feel stronger, your movements smoother, and your confidence in everyday tasks higher than it's been in years. Strength after 60 isn't about pushing harder. It's about listening, respecting, and moving smarter. That's the foundation for lifelong independence, freedom, and peace of mind. And if you want to keep building this strength safely, there's one simple next step you can take right now. You've just completed a full routine that wakes up your shoulders, restores strength, and protects your joints, all without heavy equipment or complicated machines. And here's the truth: strength after 60 is absolutely possible. It's not about pushing harder, competing with anyone else, or following outdated routines that leave your shoulders sore or unstable. It's about gentle, science-backed habits that respect your body, build confidence, and keep you moving freely for years to come. That's exactly why Senior Sense exists, to help you discover the safest, most effective ways to rebuild strength, improve posture, and move with confidence so you can enjoy independence, daily activities, and a life without unnecessary pain or fear. If you found this routine helpful, or if it opened your eyes to the fact that pain isn't just part of aging, then here's what you can do next. Subscribe to Senior Sense. It's free, it's simple, and it connects you to a growing community of people over 60 who are taking control of their strength, health, and confidence every day. And don't stop there. Share this video with someone who still thinks pain is just aging, because the truth is, it isn't. Strength can be rebuilt, independence can be protected, and it starts with knowledge, awareness, and small, consistent actions. When you subscribe and share, you're not just helping yourself, you're helping someone else see that there's a better, smarter way to care for their body. That's how we create a community of seniors who move confidently, avoid unnecessary aches, and feel empowered to take charge of their health. Remember, every gentle roll, squeeze, raise, and hold you just completed matters. And when you come back to this channel regularly, you'll keep discovering routines that are safe, effective, and tailored to the way your body changes with age. So go ahead, hit that subscribe button. Tap the notification bell if you want updates on every new routine. And share this video with a loved one. Show them that pain isn't inevitable, that independence is worth protecting, that strength can be rebuilt at any age. Your shoulders, your confidence, and your freedom are waiting. And Senior Sense is here to guide you every step of the way.